Well, how are you? Good. I'm glad you're doing well. You might have just said terrible, and I said good. And if that's the case, well, then you shouldn't have said it because I can't hear you anyway. Nice to see you. I can't see you. Nice that you're listening to us and seeing us. It's Sith Council. Andor, man. That's a majority of what we're going to talk about here. I don't really think there's much else to talk about inside of Star Wars. I'll look at Star Wars Newsnet and see. But I wanted to thank you guys for being here. If you didn't already do this, everybody, make sure you head on over to Patreon. Patreon.com/thebigthing. I did, Big Thing Show, rather. Did a whole thing yesterday, Q&A episode. I had like these little one-on-one sessions with patrons, which is awesome. Getting to know more of you guys, which is pretty great. We do the rewatches over there. We got a lot going on over there, so I hope you join us. It's been a lot of fun. So that helps support the show if you're able to do it. Podcast, you see that great graphic right there? That's great. That's Apple Podcasts. You see nothing? That's because I forgot to put it in there, so don't tell me. That's how it goes. But go to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Steph is here. Mike is here. And when Mike came in, I went, he's back. He's back. I was excited that he's back. So I'm hoping that you guys will stay with us, stick with us, and I'm ready to go. So it is Sith Council, everyone. Let's talk Andor. Let's do it. Pice. What does that mean?
I can feel your anger. It gives you focus, makes you stronger.
Shoes, beef, shoes. What's up? Back. Sith Council, everybody. It's me. Steph Sabra.
Hello there.
Well done. And the Kalinowski of Mike. How are you?
I'm back.
You are?
I'm back.
Nice to have you. All right, welcome back, everybody. Look at that. Look at that shot.
It's a great shot.
What do you think guys think in the studio thus far?
Looking great.
Looking good so far.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mike came in and noticed he's like, is the wall different? There's big old holes. The TV's not there anymore. He's like, is
That's what
different?
there was. Okay, so I'm used to come in. I'm very perceptive of what the room I'm in. If something looked different, it caught my eyes. Like, what's different? You paint it, and Steph's like, no, there's holes in the wall.
Well, I'll give you more credit than what I have because I'll tell you this. I did this. I've done this many times over. But this is the most famous one, Steph. There was something hanging in my kitchen a couple of years ago, and I said to my wife, I was like, "Oh, I really like that on the wall. Like, how long has it been there?" She was 3 years.
Oh, 3 years?
I don't notice things.
Was it a painting?
It was like a Coca-Cola thing. I really liked it. And for some reason that day, my eyes decided to say, "Oh, I noticed it."
Imagine how
And that's been there for
many
3
more
years.
things you've missed in your
Oh,
life.
shit. You have no idea. I was wondering why I've only been in like 3 relationships in my lifetime. I've missed a lot. Anyway.
Do you notice if your wife changes her hair?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I've been accustomed to make sure it's just
Okay.
for my own
gotta
sanity.
You gotta
Yeah.
recognize that if you don't.
But I
get
also
screwed
noticed it,
for
to
a
be honest
month.
with you, too. She goes, she's going this weekend. And I'll notice it right away. Roxy's the one who gives me the most shit if we forget. She's like, "Oh, don't you have something to say?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to give people bubbly. That's what I forgot." It's true, I did. Does anyone want a bubbly?
Yeah.
I'm good.
No, all right, I'll get Steph one in a second.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into this thing because I don't know how much we're gonna. What else? Is there any other news going on? I mean, I guess you know.
Oh, didn't they?
Yes, go ahead.
Something with the Acolyte.
What was it?
There was something with the Acolyte, like a more announcing it. But in my head, I was just
More
like, well,
cast?
this is not. They said they start filming like
Start filming?
in a month or so.
So Steph and I have been
That was
talking
it.
about this
Yeah,
over and
the
over, and
Acolyte
Steph
stuff.
keeps saying, which I agree with her. She's like, it's happening. And I don't disagree.
It is.
It is happening. I just think that they're just like, oh, yeah, we have that thing. I mean, and everyone's like, well, they're going to talk about it more at Celebration. They very well could. I think that they will. I think they're absolutely going to push it. But I just think it's bizarre that they didn't even mention it. That's my only thing. I just think it's weird that they didn't mention it.
I kind of, in hindsight, foresight, whatever you want to call it, I think it's good because all eyes are on Andor. Like, that's what everyone is talking about right now. We're all on Andor. I mean, it helps that the show's fantastic, but I think it's always that bright and shiny. We're in the middle of something and everybody's like, oh my God, when's the trailer coming? We're in the middle of She-Hulk right now. And I was like, one more, no, Black Panther.
Right.
And when we get to Black Panther, when that comes out, Kang Dynasty, it's like always on to the next bright and shiny. With this, there's they're not giving us the bright and shiny. And people are focusing on one thing.
Well, I do like the fact that they're focusing on Andor now, and we'll get into it now. This is Andor episode 6, which is crazy because that's the whole thing was them dropping 3 the first week, and now we're already up at 6. I said it in my spoiler review this morning. I'll say it again here. If anyone thinks this episode was boring, I mean, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Now, and if somebody says, well, it was boring until we got here. Well, why do you think you were so invested in the show, in this episode?
Yeah.
Because of all the lead up. And like I've saying this so many different times. Steph, I'll start with you here. This structure that we heard about at Celebration of the episode 1, jab. Episode 2, jab, right hook. Episode 3, finish off with the uppercut. And they've been doing that, and they really, like, episode 1 set up the stakes. Episode 2, a little bit more, him on the run. 3, join with Skarsgård, get the hell out of Dodge. 4, here's the new mission. 5, learn the crew, start to train. 6, the mission. And the mission delivered hands down. And what I said was, people die that you thought was going to die, but not in the way you thought they were going to die. And there's a lot of that, like the skiing stuff, right over my head. I didn't think he was going to turn.
No, I know. Well, play back the tapes, y'all. I think I said in the first episode
Where's
he
the
was
tapes?
introduced, I turned to Kristian. I said, do you think he could be bad?
You did.
Do you remember that?
You did. And absolutely. And the thing was, I was hoping inside of the episode that no one turned bad, because what I thought was they're going to turn someone bad during the mission, and they're going to screw up the mission.
Totally.
And then something was like, sorry. But the mission was done.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Me too. The way, the approach, the 3-episode tiers is so cool. I think it's so genius in the way that he's just changing television even more so, and opening the way that we can present television in different stories. I love what it's taking from Rogue One and then building off that in a TV way that is really working. This episode was so stunning too.
Yeah, it was.
The mix of VFX
Cinematic.
and real life footage. Them filming in Scotland, thank you so much. It is sick looking.
Yeah, Mike, you love this episode, right?
I did.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've seen a lot of people online. Not a lot of people. Some people like, finally an episode felt like Star Wars. I was like, why? Because it had lasers now. Like,
Right.
it's just I don't need that. I didn't need the ending to be a great
build
episode.
is what made it great.
Yeah,
The build made it
I don't
great.
need and just seeing in like we said, the characters, the way they ended up and where they ended up. You're just like that turn. Like, that's not an actor. Eben Moss, I believe his name. Bar.
Skiing?
Yeah, Eben something. He usually doesn't. Usually they'll always cast the guy that he's usually the shady guy, and he's not ever played. He's not known for that. So that turn. But Andor, it's 100% in character. Yep, he did it in the first episode. Didn't in
So let's talk about
Rogue
that,
One.
though. Let's talk about that, though. But it was different. It was strange how he did that, right? You're right. It was a very Rogue One moment.
Yeah.
Skeen's talking to him and going, "Hey, man, 80 million credits in the tank there.
Yeah.
You and me were the same type of dude. Let's rip him off," and then he shoots him dead.
Yeah.
That said so much in that.
Yeah.
Because what it said was exactly what you're saying, Mike. It's that moment of, okay, I am fighting for the cause. I'm doing my job. I'm not here to just rip people off. I'm doing my job. But it also said, like, it's that statement of subconsciously him really believing in it.
Yeah, and I think that the 2 times we've seen him kill, I think are 2 situations where I don't think he would have gotten out alive unless he had made that split second decision. Because even though it's a gray area decision to murder someone, I don't think he would have gotten away.
You think Skeen would have tried to take him
Yeah,
out?
I think he wanted the 80 million. I don't think he would have been okay. Anyone who's that, like...
Maybe eventually. He needed him to get off the planet.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I think he would have landed on a new planet and killed him.
Killed him after
Yeah.
him taking
100%.
You're probably right. Yeah.
But I also think that I think the reason he killed them was because if they had continued on in the mission, like if Andor said, "Nah, I can't do this. We got to finish this and this," and he's like, and then they all would have gone along as a group, he would have killed them eventually. So he's saving them.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, you're going to turn on us no matter where we can never turn our back on you. You're a liability. You're gone.
Yes, and I think that's what was so.
Yeah.
I mean, and him taking care of the crew, and he said it too. He said that, and they showed it in every time in the pre-clips of things that happened. He said, "I'm here to do my job. I'm not here to screw anybody over. I'm here to do my job. I got paid to do a job. I'm going to do the job, and that's why one of my favorite moments. What's the lead character's name? The woman who
Vel.
Vel, is that
Vel?
Vel.
Vel. V-E-L.
That's right. So Vel. This is why we have Mike on the show.
Yeah.
So Vel, when she's standing there after the kid, I call him Mouse because you remind me of Mouse from Matrix.
On internet, they said like they posted this guy, Mouse, and like one other from another show. It's
Something like that,
it's all the same.
And the way he died, everybody thought he was going to die, but nobody thought he was going to die like that.
Yeah.
Get crushed by the credits. That was heartbreaking. And then the fact that he was able to get up and go, climb, dive. That was all awesome. But when Vel says to Andor, when she walks in and he has got the blaster and he's like, it's not what you think. She goes, you disgusting bastard, she calls him. And I was like, man. She realizes quickly that when he goes, no, I'm just here for I'm going to take what I was promised, take the crystal, I'm out.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, wait a minute. Because he says his scheme's going to kill you. She's like, no, he wouldn't do that. He's like, when did you think about that?
Yeah.
And then she realized it. You see that in that moment.
I mean, you think of how long they were training before Andor came in.
Yeah.
Like they had a bond, and but she realized real quick, it's like, oh, he's 100% right.
Yeah.
They talk about honor among thieves and stuff, but
like,
and I love her like badass for 4 or 5 episode. In this one, she opens the coward. She almost backs out. Can't do it.
Well, she's not coward much.
No,
I think human side. I think the human, like the nerves and everything,
sure.
the break, the fact, because I think, coward or fear would have been if she would have turned away, right? So she's standing there and she feels it. And there is that moment that you're talking about where they're like, are we going or what?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is a do or die moment for her.
Right.
So when that whole thing, I mean, the intensity of all of it, and it felt like you felt Tony Gilroy all over this thing in this.
Cinta was so badass.
She was great.
She
When
was
she came in blasting the one guy in
she
the
was
head.
the first, no questions, bop, just got him. But when they went over the railing, I haven't seen that that was super spy stuff.
Batman stuff.
Yeah, that was
Come
really
on, that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, the
Mission
way
Impossible.
the music too. It had like this 24 type TikTok like woven into it. It was so well done. The music on the show is so great.
It's so great. And I think that overall, what really, go ahead, Mike. Something?
I wanted to ask you guys because I don't remember it. So so who's the guy who's leading? So they're 4 soldiers. They're disguised as 4 soldiers. He's leading the 4. He died when he went to
former stormtrooper.
Yeah, he died when he went to go to Vel. They were in the thing. And he was wondering.
He was the first one out.
When did the lieutenant die? Or is he still alive?
No, he's dead.
No,
I don't remember him dying.
He was actually the first one. He was the first one out.
I think he was
when?
the second one. Oh no, he was the first one. You're right. He was, and I remember being like,
yes, he was the first one, and
his
then
last
where he's
words
like, Lieutenant,
were
you ignore
iconic,
this?
though.
he gets whacked up top when they start shooting. He gets whacked because the main guy craps out from the heart attack.
Yeah.
and that's when all hell
We don't
breaks
know if
loose.
he's dead or just.
That's I'm like,
he's gone.
They didn't make a shot of it like the other guy.
No, you're right.
So I'm like, because I was like, did he just die?
Yeah, but I
think
guess.
they gave him his last iconic lines when he's like serving you for 7 years is worse.
He's definitely dead. Yeah,
So, and then the other guy, they're dead. And I was like, bold choice if those 2 are the only ones who die in this episode.
The 2 black guys?
And then it wasn't. And I was like, okay.
No, but I thought, you know what I also thought was a moment that they did, it was the fact that but those 2 black guys that died were 2 of the most, and what they did, they fought against they went against the evil.
From the inside out.
Both of them, the main left from Stormtrooper, and the other was realizing after 8 years, and without those 2 guys, this mission does not happen.
No.
You make a great point, and I was thinking about this because this show is incredible, and all Disney Plus shows have been really good with as far as diversity, but this making sure their team was a very diverse cast, and you see it as hopefully it's the right actor for the right choice. It's not trying to fill whatever reason they have to do it.
Quota,
But and so then a lot of people say, oh, the 2 black guys die first, but their characters. And everyone was fully fleshed out. It wasn't like we're sacrificing, the great storyline characters. We kill everyone's character was so invested from Cinta to the kid. So it was just like, no, this is the way it goes off. It fits the story. It made story.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of, shortchanging a certain.
No, at all.
I agree.
The show is so well written for every character.
It was. Go ahead,
regardless.
It was
background.
like classic Rogue One, where at least I know some people had criticism of not being attached to the characters. I found attachment with all of the characters, and then by the time they died, it reinforced that the whole point that every man or every woman, every person can be involved in the fight in their own way. Like everyone has their own role to play.
Well, that's why I think that this show has been more. I mean, I love Rogue One, but this show, that's why TV is more impactful because you got to spend that time with them and you learn. This is something you wouldn't get in a movie, and also stuff for people who are saying it's too slow. It's so silly, like, where you learn about Gorn. Is that the which
Lieutenant Gorn?
Gorn.
Lieutenant?
Yeah.
I didn't know him as the lieutenant. I think it's Gorn. I'll pull it up. Hold on.
But either way, when they learn about Gorn, the fact that he so Gorn had a relationship with this woman, fell in love, realized that he was doing the wrong thing. Those couple of those lines, and the fact that he's been working inside, and you look what he's doing over the course of those episodes. You're already attached to him. So he's not just some kind of nameless, empire guy. So it's like, oh, well, you only got to spend like a quarter of a scene with him. So who cares if he dies? I cared when he died. I cared like so much. I cared when he died. I cared when was Stormtrooper ex-Stormtrooper?
I'm pulling up right now. Yep, right now.
So
They were both such great actors.
But it's
Marcona.
Yes, so Marcona, when he died, I was like, no, because of what they set up. They set up with this idea of like, all right, here's this guy. Oh, you didn't know he was a stormtrooper. That's why he's so methodic in everything he's doing. That's why he was so because Andor says, hey, this guy loves giving orders. And I was like, oh, you would understand why, right? He's like, what do you mean? And then you're like, oh, he fought against it, and then he made that rush to protect his people, and he got whacked, and you're like, oh. And then before I knew Skeen was a scumbag, Skeen is running through. I'm like, Skeen's gonna get whacked, and I'm like, no, and then he makes it. I'm like, all right, great. And then Mouse, I'm like, he made it. He made it. And then he gets crushed by the credits. And I was like, oh, it's brutal. So it was set up really well because you cared about this crew. And they did that over the course of 4 and 5. And now what now? So and then you finish up with Lutheran.
Yeah.
At the very end going, he's cracking up. He's laughing his ass off.
Because he did it.
Because he did it. Because he hears some guy going, oh, do you have a thing from whatever planet it is? And he's like, no, why would you say that? He's like, because there was a rebellion there, and the Empire's losing their minds right now.
Right. Oh, we're in here, everyone. Oh, no one's leaving. Tell your families. We're going to be here till midnight.
Easily. Past midnight.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, man, it's going down. Mon Mothma's giving a speech, and everybody's leaving in the middle of it. It's
now, did you get... Okay, so Mon Mothma, the speech.
Yeah.
Did you get... I saw a couple people leave, but it just seemed almost empty from the beginning. Like there is no more, the planets don't care anymore, or they don't have representation. That was incredible. And then the few that were there were like reading their pads or whatever, like, oh, we got to go.
It's not because there's no place for them anymore.
It doesn't matter anymore.
And it's that they're complacent. It's also, and what I said to you, and I still feel that House of the Dragon is the best show on television right now.
I don't watch it.
I didn't ask you that.
I don't watch it.
I still didn't ask you that. But what I will say is, to me, it's the best show on television because it's must watch television. Like I have to be there every week. And you can't pull me away. And I thought Andor, leading up to this episode, is like, I need to watch it, have to watch it, but, I'm not there yet. This has put me over that limit.
And we're at the halfway point, right, of the season?
Yeah. So, like, I'm like, oh, my God, give me another episode. I'm glad that I got to wait a week, but I'm still like, give me another episode.
I love that they're letting the directors do 3. I love that they're giving them these little pods. Love that. And love that.
Because they're telling the story that the Gilroys want to tell.
Yeah.
And they have this full-on thing. Like, so I was talking about it yesterday. I was on Campy's show, and they brought up, like, how Kevin Smith doesn't want to do, wouldn't want to do Star Wars.
Really?
Or wouldn't want to do Marvel because he's the fandom is
they hate him. Look what they did with him with He-Man.
But he was saying that he brought that up, but he said it's because it's just the fandoms are tough inside of that, and there are certain directors, like Kevin's the guy who wears his emotions on his sleeve, and like and that the Masters of the Universe stuff hurt him. It hurt him to his core, right? Like all the backlash and everything too. It absolutely did. Tony Gilroy is like the honey badger. Tony Gilroy don't care. Tony Gilroy, he don't give a crap.
No.
He's like, this is like I would love to somebody have a conversation with Tony Gilroy. Go, well, boring. It's a boring show. It's like slow is. If you want to say it's slow, I'll give you slow. I'll give you slow burn. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But boring. You're not watching the show if you think it's boring.
It's the comment that I saw a couple comments yesterday from like finally it's felt like Star Wars. It finally felt like
Star Wars.
Why? Because there was a TIE fighter and they had a blaster fight. It's been Star Wars and that's the great thing about this show is it's like we said, my thing. No Sith, no Jedi, no lightsabers, but it's 100% Star Wars.
Yeah, but you can still do this tone and have all that.
Yeah, you
Like
could.
you're saying.
Of course you can.
And
I just
think
love
that-
this
yeah.
the way it is.
What I said is it doesn't feel like Star Wars. Well, maybe Star Wars should start to feel like this more.
Hey,
How about that?
I love the things where I see people, and I don't agree with this, but they're like, it's the best thing since 1980. I'm like, I love hearing that. I don't agree with it because I love all the flavors.
It's hard for me to argue that it's not the best written thing since 1980.
That's an easy argument.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still a Mandalorian 1 and 2.
Mandalorian is just fun.
Mandalorian has that feel of what people are talking about, the fantasy space opera, that people right away go, hey, that's what Star Wars is supposed to be. It's called Star Wars for a reason, by the way. Yeah, the political stuff, the strife, the fascism from battling within, because what I mentioned in my spoiler review, and we'll see if you guys agree with this or not, in the first episode, remember when Andor is saying that the Empire, he says in the trailer, right, that the Empire is, they're look how fat they are. Look how they're lazy. They would never expect us coming in. That was such a foreshadowing for this. And the embodiment of that was the main guy who has the heart attack.
We need to give him a name, too. We got Mustache Magoo. And,
Oh my gosh.
and
yeah.
this belt has been compressed when you put it away. And she's like, perhaps you've expanded.
We'll call him Brimley. We'll call him Brimley. So, but Brimley was, but he was the embodiment of what he was talking about, because he can't get the waist thing around him. He can't imagine in a million years anybody would be turning on him. He's walking around. He's making fun of the natives. He's everything stinks. I want to get out of here. And he just never saw it coming. And that's what, and the Andor wasn't even part of the rebellion at this point when he said, hey, you can just sneak in and they'll never see you coming. And that's ultimately what happened.
Yeah, I really liked his character. He's such a slob. Yeah. And I loved how he represented what I think is so masterful is their research to... I studied human rights in college, and we took like so many courses on genocide and human rights issues, and they're doing it in such a great way. Like, they're talking about it in a way that I think the layman can understand, but it also makes you think, which I miss that about Star Wars. I like the Star Wars that makes me think about my place in the world, like good versus evil, and all of that. So with the Aldani, I loved what they did. Yeah, they were like, they think we're stupid, giving us this stupid fur and think that's okay and think we're distracted, and we're not. We know better.
And that main dude, the main Aldani, was
how did they keep Bryan Cranston's casting a secret? I saw that for a second. I was just like, I'm sorry, is this him?
When he's walking through, and the disdain on his face as he's walking past all even when he sees our guys, he doesn't realize what they are, but he's looking. The only time he kind of acknowledges it is when Gorn looks over and gives the wrong translation. Yeah. He's like, I didn't say that. Yeah. And he's like, all right. And then the mixture of like the eye of the storm, the way they play into that, and the TIE fighters, when the fighters are getting into the TIE fighters, and you're like, oh no, they're gonna bring the TIE fighters out. And the thing that's so great about the TIE fighters is that, and as I mentioned, you guys, it's my favorite sound in all of Star Wars. Yeah. But they're also, even as dangerous as they are, they're also the easiest things to destroy. They're like paper. Like, they've always been like that. They're so fast, but one shot and you're out. And they take all three of those things out because of the climb, dive. And that whole scene, and that was the best. He's like, hey, I need some coordinates. It's like, this guy's dying back here. And he's just like, well, that doesn't change the fact that I need coordinates.
We're going to die if we don't get this.
Right. The tension in this episode. And I should be, and we got to find what the director's name. She did all three, right?
I'll pull it up right now. I got it right here.
She did all three.
Yeah, she did. I think her initials are SW.
She was great too, man. Like, it's like they have it.
Susanna White.
Okay, Susanna White.
I was right. SW.
So Susanna White was awesome.
I gotta say,
awesome.
Great. The eye sequence at the very end, I will put up there as one of the best sequences in all of Star Wars.
It was great.
All of Star
beautiful.
Wars.
It really was.
The combination of effects, practical, just the
emotion.
It reminded me. I mean, I'll say this is, love or hate Solo. The scene in the maw at the end is fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
And I got little shades of that, but just awesome.
Well, but like you said, you can do that, and you can make all those things work, and it's a matter of investment. Yeah. It's investment. You could have easily made this show the way the previous, like, Boba Fett and Obi-Wan was, and it doesn't play the same story. Yeah. But you start to play it where it's like a little bit more cheesy, a little bit more goofy, a little bit more of we got to really dumb this down for kids. We got to make it for kids. I understand that at one point, and I think even Lucasfilm does this. Well, Star Wars, George always said, Star Wars is for kids. Well, guess what? Those kids grew up and they still love Star Wars. So you got to play towards them as well.
Can't forget about them.
You can't, and that's what Tony Gilroy is doing. He is playing to that audience. He's realizing and understanding that that audience has grown up. Now, I'm not telling you don't make Star Wars for young kids also. Of course you do. But this is proven, make adult Star Wars. It works.
Do you feel, okay, so listening to that, and a great point, do you feel, because when you watch the gallery series for The Mandalorian, it's all the round table, and Bryce Dallas Howard sitting and talking about my toys and playing the sandbox. And we might get this, but we might not. We're not going to, we'll never get it for Tony Gilroy, but like Susanna White, are they going to sit around and go, gosh, I was Star Wars as a kid and I got to play in that sandbox? Or were they just like, no, I'm a filmmaker, I'm working with a great writer, we're making a great film, a great series. Like,
that's what they're doing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So whereas with The Mandalorian, we feel it's like kids playing with their toys. Yeah. And you get that with Favreau and all those guys. But these filmmakers, and maybe they will, but maybe when we get the gallery series, it's like, Tony said, no, we don't want Star Wars. Don't feel like you've got to shoehorn in this. We're telling this story. And if the Star Wars other stuff comes in, that's icing on the cake.
Tony Gilroy wanted to make a spy thriller in the Star Wars galaxy, and he has succeeded.
Yeah.
That's he has done what, I mean, again, I love Favreau.
Yeah, of course.
Love what he has done. But Tony Gilroy delivered in a way on Andor with spy thriller that Favreau did not deliver with Boba Fett as a mob story. It's not a mob story.
Yes.
It's not a gangster story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they pitched it, and Favreau was quoted. Say, well, we watched Godfather, we watched Goodfellas.
You're 100% right.
That wasn't in there. If you told me you watched Bourne Identity or Mission Impossible, and they came,
absolutely,
that's in there. This is the show that was pitched. This is the show that we thought we were getting from the trailers and everything. Like where we looked at those trailers from when we watched Boba Fett, and went, oh, that thing around the table, it's gonna be a mob show, and you didn't get that. And when you're watching Andor, you're going, oh, this is going to be a spy thriller. There's going to be political intrigue. There's going to be stuff with the Empire. There's going to be moles. And it's all there.
I wouldn't
it's all there.
I would 100% expect it. And I would love to see it if, the tropes, like somewhere in the show, we get like some kind of digital mask pull of someone impersonating someone just because they've embraced the tropes so much, but made them fresh.
Yeah.
But they're fresh.
But you did it. They did it already. They put the wig on Skarsgård.
Yeah, there you go.
And they did that. But they did it in that subtle way, right? Instead of like a mask.
Yeah.
But they absolutely did that.
So I'm going to say this, and I'll stick to this now because I've got 6 episodes in. We talked about, is Vader going to show up? We're going to see Tarkin anywhere. I hope we never see those guys in this. Seeing how good the show is 6 episodes in with not any even touching on that stuff. Season 2 maybe, but going forward, the next 6 episodes, if we don't see Vader, we don't see Tarkin, we don't see talk of a Death Star somewhere.
I don't think we need Vader.
I hope to God we don't.
I don't think we need Vader.
They've earned it.
I think
they don't need it.
I think Tarkin in the season finale would be pretty special.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leading into season 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with you on
or
that.
Even Krennic. Or even Krennic.
Oh yeah,
Krennic would be better, I think, because it does.
Before him.
Yeah.
Or it might be the opposite because Krennic and their paths were never destined to meet. It's just like Rogue One, we show him, but you meet him in those rooms. We need a Krennic somewhere.
But this is the thing I saw. And I saw it again today, and because my first thing when I heard about this show was, why am I going to care about a guy that I know dies on the beach in Scarif?
Right.
And the answer to that question that Tony Gilroy gave you right away was you're gonna know how he got into this and why he cares and why he's able to be invested in what he went through during how he was involved. That's part one, right? But you're not really gonna get attached to worry about him dying because you know how he goes. You're gonna worry about the people around him. You're gonna meet a whole bunch of people around him that you're gonna care about, and you're gonna lose them, and that's what's gonna bother you. And because that crew, I cared about that crew. I didn't know any of that crew until episode 3. And I was like, and I knew Mouse was going to die. I knew it. And I hated how he died, but I appreciate how they did it. It was smart.
Two things to your point right there. One, I didn't think for a second about Serial Eating Boy this episode. Not in a bad way.
Oh, right.
Because we're so invested.
Right.
100%. And no one else can play. It's
Right.
like, where was he? We don't care because we'll know he's in the story. He's be back. We're so invested with them.
Yeah.
And 2, these characters that we met in 1 and 2 and 3, I'm like, Bix, what are we going to find happen to Bix?
Yeah.
Like, we're so invested in the little time we met them. And the buddy on the thing is like, yeah, I'll lie for you. Go on, get out of here. Because Serial Boy's going back and he's taking out that whole village. He's killing them all.
He's going to turn into like
But
the
you
worst.
care about them, and we haven't seen them in 3 episodes. We're still like, what's going on with them?
And they're all really, what I liked about it, you got to have a lot of energy to be in that. And I think for that, I would assume that they're all on Athletic Greens. If I was to guess, I would assume that they're all on Athletic Greens. If I was to guess, it makes sense. I saw Andor drinking something, and I said, "What is that?" It's like, "Oh, it's Athletic Greens." I love Athletic Greens, and I'm so glad that they're back. And if you guys didn't know, I see a lot of people signing up, man, and I'm glad that you are because, as I've told you guys many times over, and people always ask, "Hey, I wasn't able to get anything on that Amazon list, and I'm not a patron, but what can I do to help the show?" Well, and I said, "What you can do is you can help yourself." And get Athletic Greens. You'll love it. I love it. I take it. It starts off my day. I take it in a water bottle. I shake it up. And I started taking it because I want a better gut health and more energy and optimized immune system. And I was never a big pills and vitamins person. Been doing it for weeks. My energy has been great, especially when I'm like, got this energy from the kids just sucked out. Well, Athletic Greens. That's what I do. In the morning, I shake it up. I'm ready to go. Better sleep quality. All my friends are doing it now, too, man. Steph, she loves it. Mm-hmm. And it costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. It's cheaper than getting all the different supplements yourself also, and you're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews, and it's recommended by professional athletes. And it's time to reclaim your health, and you got to arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's all you got to do. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. Now, to make it easy for you, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/bigthing, all capitals, big thing. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/bigthing. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Got to love that Athletic Greens. And like I said, it's in the description. Try it, and when you do, let me know that you purchased it and that you used the code, and then I'm going to tell our podcast rep who will tell Athletic Greens, and they love it. And look, right behind Steph. Look behind Steph over there. You got Athletic Greens right next to Ray. Other side. That's Kevin Smets's belt, the one that you pointed at over there. Yes. All right. What's wrong?
Nothing.
You all right?
You're right, it is.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, so let's keep talking about this show, man. It was It really was. It was this episode, though. Where do they go next? Go ahead.
One thing, though, is this is so petty, and I love fashion. I've got to say, the level of realism that these clothes look lived in fully, I believe, every piece of attire that's been put on, in comparison to Obi-Wan, when we met O'Shea Jackson and the group. The outfits looked like kind of how the halflings outfits look in Rings of Power, where I'm like, this looks like a play.
Yeah.
This looks like you went into the local theater.
I'm telling you,
and I feel
man.
so bad because I know, there's so much power, passion getting put into it.
Yep.
But
Wrong
that's
show.
hilarious.
It's all right.
That's
Yeah,
a
wrong
sick
show.
graphic.
Come on now. Come on.
When are we gonna be?
Class.
I want to be cartoonized like
We
that.
were. What happened to our Sith
immortalized.
Council cartoon? We
Yeah,
got
we-
our Sith Council cartoon.
We were. It was,
Oh, it's new. We got update.
well, Wicked Art did one for us. So by the way, it actually reminds me, we're putting up our store. So we're going to be working with TeePublic again, and we're putting up our store, and we're going to have the Sith Council logo, and we're also going to do apologies for sure.
Apologies.
We definitely need apology, and I think we have to do what she proposed.
And we need the Top Gun guy.
So the Top Gun guy, I was thinking of doing just like the lettering of the Top Gun guy with a question mark, exclamation point. Brett had a great idea. I'm going to take that sound bit of you just screaming, "The Top Gun guy," and anytime Tom Cruise is mentioned ever, putting that button. The Top Gun guy. So I had Jen Sturger, many people reach out to me and go, "The Top Gun guy clip was hilarious." It's like 30,000 views on Instagram.
Shannon,
or something.
she's like, that. God damn it, Steve.
God
She's like, I
damn
know
it,
that.
Steve.
She's like, I know that sounding. God damn it.
It was
So well.
It was.
God
It was.
damn it,
That was my
Steve.
dad's favorite thing to say to me when I was growing up. God damn
It was the best. Like, so the Top Gun guy, that Top Gun guy,
Unbelievable.
amazing. Anyway,
Wait, can I tell you
yes,
something
yes,
random?
yes,
Good
please.
news.
Please.
Okay, so my favorite thing Kristian has ever told me is that I remind him of Maya Rudolph.
yes, many
She
times.
reposted one of my
Really?
TikToks. I was like,
Oh, that's
"Ooh,
great.
I don't care about anyone, but her I care about. I was like, I have to tell Kristian.
Yes, you do. You remind me of her all the time. It's true. It's like Roxy reminds
Her
me of Drew Barry-
personality?
A little bit of
Like the facial
both.
expressions.
Yeah,
he says.
both. You want to see the best facial expression ever? And I'll try to put. I'll try
God,
to
here
post
we
this.
go.
No, I'm going to show. Steph always likes when the little maniac.
Oh my God.
I'm showing my
Why
my
does she
daughter.
have so much personality?
But she's got. So I'm showing people here, and she's got on Finstock's old shirt. You were displaying loser behavior.
She looks like the feral kid from Mad Max, like right there.
She looks like a barbarian.
Is it the one that was on the skateboard and
Yes.
jumped off it?
Yeah. Yes. She's
in
out of her
undies.
mind.
I'm gonna-
undies. Buck naked.
I was gonna do a video of that and send it to you guys. Same way.
Yeah,
a
same
little
way.
blurred out area.
That's a good way to get canceled. So anyway, let's get back to this thing.
If I was
so
canceled
as far
and I
as-
came back, I'd be like, I'm back. I'm back.
You just can't navigate off, huh?
Nope.
You stay right on track, and then you just like to go.
That's how I do it.
Like a cat.
That's how I do it, buddy.
He's back.
Listen, stop this. So we're trying we're trying to get back on track. The episode's where it goes, right? And I think you guys said it though. I think you said it.
What
When
did
it
I
comes
say?
to Bix, and I think we start to maneuver back to them.
Oh yeah.
I think in 7, 8,
Return
9.
of the Bix.
I think so.
Please.
I think 7, 8, 9 she comes back.
When is-
Because that has to be his love interest
Yeah.
until I think she inevitably dies,
has
and
to
then
die.
that's why it opens up the space for Jin.
I don't think he continues a love interest with her. I think
do.
nope. I think
The
I
fireworks.
think
Yeah.
Ray is the first.
Ray's coming back.
Not Ray. Jen.
Can you imagine?
Jen.
She's young.
Oh,
She's not even
Jin.
born. at that
No, yeah.
Jin.
There's no way Bix could be his sister, right? Because she knows.
No,
Okay.
no, they've had they hint
They
they've
flirt.
been, they've hinted they've been
Okay.
on, and they said it at D23 that they've had this. They're gonna
getting
explore-
back together.
They're going to explore a little bit more, and I think that and she's coming
I
back for
don't-
season 2. They already
Yeah,
said
and
it.
grief builds bonds.
Yeah, yeah. She's going to crap out. She's going to crap out
Yeah,
because
it's gonna be so
and it's
sad.
gonna and maybe because we do know that.
I don't think so.
I know you've made that clear.
I know she dies, but not. I don't think there's a love bond that keeps going, because then this is what 5 years pre Rogue One, and the last season is getting
Yeah.
2 years
Yeah.
before. Or
Yeah,
he said the
1
last
year.
one
It
is
leads
going to be
right
like
into it.
5 minutes before we
Leads
meet him.
right
Yeah.
into it, which I think we're going to lead right into that scene of when he goes to
Yeah,
kill
when
that
he, like,
chick.
Is there
jumps
going to be a
down,
time
yeah.
jump between 1 and 2?
I don't think.
I don't think as dramatic as like House of the Dragon, but I think there'll be like a minor one.
I think there's going to be time jumps in the next 3 episodes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because I think this covers more time than the second season.
Okay.
So I think we might have a flash forward or something.
You might be right. Yeah, I mean, but look, because which could make sense, right? Because by the end of this episode, he's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm not doing this. Here's the crystal. I'm out of here. And she gives him the navigation
Manifesto, yeah.
manifesto, and he takes off.
The manifesto, yeah.
Yeah, he takes off. And so I think you're right. I think we're gonna probably jump into. We're gonna see that our crazy town serial boy is he's gonna be in a different position now.
Yeah.
And now whether
He's going to grow a beard or I bet. Okay. He's going to have a goatee in the next episode.
he might, but I think that his downfall again is not listening to Mustache Magoo.
Yeah.
I think because
sure.
I think he keeps hunting Andor, and I think that's going to be his because he's obviously going to eat it by the
sure.
end for sure. Because otherwise, where the hell is he?
Yeah.
And then they're going to have to introduce. I mean, Krennic, I think, doesn't have to come in
He doesn't.
at the end of episode 1. He's got to come in.
His whole
Two-
agency is the Death Star. That's why he's in Star Wars, is the Death Star.
right? So
Yeah, that's true.
So if they don't make it about the Death Star at all, he doesn't need to be
Right.
in it. But I just think there's something. And the question is, we haven't mentioned him at all. Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, yeah.
Mads has to.
Yeah.
Mads has to show up, right?
Does he,
definitely-
though?
Yeah, because he's
At
been
the end-
working with the Empire.
Well, he's
Episode
Maybe
2, like a
season two.
cameo, like a cameo. or
Hold on.
something.
Okay. No, he's okay. So let's think time wise, because
Yeah.
right now with Andor, how is it close
He's-
to Rogue One?
He's not going to
a couple
be,
of years.
Yeah, he wouldn't be in it until season 2 if he's going to be in it at all.
But at that point, he's living on Lamu.
That's true.
Is it Lamu? It
Well,
should
when
be.
does he bail? That's true.
He's with the Empire right now, building
Right.
on.
Right. So if you're going to see him, if you're
He's
gonna
in
see him,
Coruscant.
if you're going to see him with the Empire, you're going to see him now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so how old did we meet Jin and she is
5
Okay.
or something like that. Really
So
young. And then
I'm trying to think if he had her. I'm trying to think of the flashbacks in Rogue One. I think he had her. He's with Lara
So where is
on
he now?
Coruscant, where he's like,
is he on Coruscant right now? How long?
or is he
how
left
long-
and he's like, I can't do this anymore.
Right, that's true. How
This
long
is
has
all
he been
going
on that planet? You're right.
Right.
The question is, how long has he been? You might not
He's
see him.
been there a
You're
little
right.
while, I
You're
think.
absolutely right. He might not. He might be on that other planet. They're
So
looking
we
for
might
him.
have missed
I
his
don't know.
story.
Interesting.
until
I mean,
season 2.
Right, 'cause
Because then
she-
he would be brought back.
Yeah, because Jin's
well-
on the Jin's on the run at this
Okay,
point.
so they are building it because they
Yeah.
They're saying that
Laura's
one
dead
episode,
in
they're
there.
like, there's a lot of something to scare of.
Yeah.
They're talking about materials to scare of. So they're
Yeah.
building it.
You're right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see him. He's way gone at this point.
Yeah.
He's on that planet. No. Wait a minute.
He's got. I
Hold
think
on
he's
a
living
second.
on the planet.
No, he's not.
Why not?
So you're right and wrong at the same time.
Always.
Where we were thinking, no, because at that point, remember, she's like what 9 or 10 when
Really young.
She's really young. After
Jin.
yes,
Yeah.
After
He's taken.
He's
taken by Krennic.
Yeah, that's right.
Back to start working on the thing again.
Until
That's
he
the
dies.
second. But we see the flashbacks early on where they're on Coruscant,
planet.
where he's just like,
Right,
we
but
gotta
that's
do
way,
this.
but that's way before, dude. That's,
Right.
right, but that's not that. So the time period that we're in at the moment, right?
So
the
he
5
is
years before
working
he's,
on it.
He's working
But he's
on it.
what
so
was
you
the
could
name?
see
It's
it.
not Jeddah. It's
It's the planet that where he
God, I
gets
should know
where he
this.
gets killed,
The
right?
rainy planet.
Oh my god.
Is that where he is? But you don't necessarily know he's not been traveling back.
Yeah,
and
no,
forth.
I don't know exactly where he is, but he's been
Edu.
in one
Edu.
location.
I got it within 15 seconds. I got it.
You got it.
It was
Yeah,
Edu.
5-pointer.
Belt still Smith.
Yeah,
What?
I think
Shut
that
your mouth.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's
Look at this
Star
beauty.
Wars.
I had this. Did you
Oh,
know?
no,
Did
that's
you know I held on to that
How long?
longer than any player
Ever?
Over 365 days. I had that
Interesting.
Only
How many
time.
times have you defended it?
3 times.
3 times. Interesting.
No one's ever done
Wow.
that.
No one's ever done that.
Never.
Wow.
No one's defended it twice,
Interesting.
but I did.
That's just the tea. I think they're going to be focusing a lot more on the ISB part of the Empire.
Yeah.
Because that's what they've been sprinkling, and now they're on overtime.
Yeah.
They used to
Blondie
tell your
looked-
families.
Blondie looked pissed.
She was pissed because
She's
Like, I told you.
because she exactly. She's like, "What? You remember? I was here last week, Bill.
Yeah. I
was
want
here.
to
What's
see
his
the
name?
guy's face.
What's that guy's name? Bill. Bill Bumble. We got Bill.
We got Bill. He's like, I was here last week telling you, and this guy's like, no, 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 no. I got my assistant saying this is the right thing to do, and then what do, Bill? You just say, oh, we have a lot of potential, blah, blah, blah. And now we got a blown up thing and heart attack central over there. So what are you gonna
We
do?
lost, and they left a lot of credits behind still though. They had a lot of
A
credits
lot
left.
of credits.
The fact that they took and the fact that they got away with 80 mil
Yeah.
and the thing and they was like, what are you doing? Leave it. Because she's trying to pick it up by herself. She's like, come on. He's like, get out of there. What are you doing? Get up.
No.
That's when he got. I think that's when he gets capped. Right at that point.
Yeah, I think so. They were, yeah.
That scene, man, was awesome. And then
So good.
when the one guy comes in and he's like, sir, what's going on? He's like, nah, there's a top secret mission. Beat it. And he's like, tell him. He's just like, oh man, I got nothing.
Whoops.
Now. He's like, I got nothing. And then that's when Skeen's just like, F this, and just starts firing away. What an awesome scene that was. Oh.
Yeah, I love how he came down and was like, just like, not for a second acting like he was still a part of the Empire. He was like, all right, mask off,
Right.
let's go.
Right.
Like, and the way that actor played all his lines was so
Great.
chill.
You'll
And-
hang for this.
Yeah.
After working for you for 8 years, I deserve a lot worse.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was like, wow.
Like,
great.
he was ready to die if he needed to.
Between that and you disgusting bastard.
Yeah.
Those are the two lines.
woo.
They were such great lines.
What is Cyrus? What's her name? She's the only one that was left.
She was left
there.
behind, yeah.
So I wonder how she's
Cinta?
gonna reunite. Cinta, yeah.
she'll-
Love
She'll-
her.
she'll- I think they've got to have like a
She can
backup
blend
plan.
in.
Like, hey,
She can blend in.
this is the rendezvous because
Yeah.
she knew she was going to be separated.
Remember, a lot of those people still on the surface, Steph, they had no idea what was going on because remember, they're looking up at the sky and she was blending in with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So I think she can just kind of drift off and she'll be all
But
right.
they probably had like a hey, we meet on the rendezvous. So
Maybe.
and so.
Well, I think that's her bae, right?
Yeah.
Is the blonde?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's gonna come
Yeah,
back
they're lovers.
for her. Yeah,
they
yeah.
shared a cape, isn't that the one?
They
She
shared a
shares
bet,
well, he's like she shares a cape with someone already.
Yeah, Skeen
Yeah.
was like, yeah, and then they showed him kind of like hugging and stuff. And I was like, okay, so that, because that was interesting. She's like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
She's like, tell me you're going to be okay. She's like, I'm going to be good. And even that whole scene of Ryan, like they could have done something stupid and they didn't. Where they could have tried to do a Han Solo moment, which I love the Han Solo moment. It's my favorite moments ever. But when he's like, hey, what's going on there? We need to figure out what's going on. And instead of some cheesy, stupid line, she shuts it all off and shuts the electricity
Yeah,
down. And,
yeah.
you know
The
what I mean?
Hux moment.
That-
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
like some
Oh, your
cheesy.
mom?
They didn't try to do some stupid joke there.
Right.
They just made it serious. They shut off the electricity and it intensified. It's like that's what I'm saying, and I get it. Like I said before, and I understand this. There, like you look at something like Skeleton Crew, that's going to be a show. There's going to be kids in it. And I think there's going to be more a serious tone if John wants what he told us.
Yeah.
Like I believe him that there'll be more like a Stranger Things
Or like
but-
Harry Potter.
yeah, but it'll be some serious moments with, but there's going to be moments for kids because there's kids in it, right? And I think you need those types of shows. And I think that there's just certain times where there's certain shows that should fit those tones, but I do think there's certain shows that should fit this type. I think Boba Fett should have felt this way, and I think that Obi-Wan definitely should have felt this way, depending on what's going on in the galaxy at that time.
You're taking away rights from planets, like full-on planets. It's serious.
Yes.
It's not a joke.
Why do you guys feel? And again,
that Bist and the Space Monkey isn't here yet.
So if we look at Obi-Wan and we look at Andor.
Yeah.
If you would have said of these two shows, which show do you like 100% and Obi-Wan's like we're gonna put our budget in that show,
Right.
and we're gonna give you about half of that. How does this show look infinitely more expensive?
It's an easy answer.
Like
it's an easy answer.
Take out cast. Take out the cast you're paying.
It's an easy answer.
Well, what is it?
Tony Gilroy. Because Tony Gilroy's experience and Tony Gilroy...
But Tony Gilroy's not making the props.
It doesn't matter. Tony Gilroy brings the gravitas to come in and say, I need this, I need that, I need this, I'll be able to do this. And you go, oh, what's your resume? Oh, that's your resume? Okay, we're going to give you the shot. Nothing against Deborah Chow. Deborah Chow is a very good director. She directed some great episodes, but they gave her a lot to handle for her first major project, and they didn't give her that much. I'm so curious behind the scenes of what really happened with that show.
Look at this.
I want to know for real what happened, but you should
will.
watch the. You should watch the.
But how much is that is designed to tell some narrative?
Yeah, that's a narrative
they want to tell. Yeah.
Okay, look at
I
this.
don't know.
Steph.
You worked
Perfect
in reality.
example.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Perfect example. We're going into 2 military Imperial installations. Obi-Wan swimming underwater into that scene where she takes the guy behind the thing. Hold on a second.
I did.
He takes him behind the thing and he shoots him, and like no one hears that. Whereas this breaking into this military installation, like that, like Steph said, like you said about the costumes, that looked like a high school plays set, and this looked like that's a real thing in Scotland somewhere that they just put a couple Imperial
Let's call
design
it what it is.
things on there.
Let's the easiest way to describe this,
Yeah.
and tell me if you disagree. This feels like a television drama that you'd find on HBO. That felt like an animated series.
On Disney, yeah.
Yeah. Obi-Wan felt like if that was an animated series, if that show was animated, you'd be like, what an awesome show that was. If it was an animated series the same way, but it was it felt like an animated series.
A lot of it. Yeah, a lot of the writing. I liked the show, obviously. I loved a lot of it, actually, but a lot of the writing was not my favorite.
Right.
The writing is so. I actually think if the show was on HBO, it'd be doing better,
Yeah.
viewer-wise.
My analogy to that is like Obi-Wan felt like an NBC drama, NBC show.
Network
This
show.
felt like HBO, something like that's the pedigree.
It just
I would
feels
say.
the show just feels more adult. It just feels more adult, and I think and I get, and as I said, I get that Star Wars needs show. Like, what I will say is this: my daughter is watching the MCU and she loves it. Right? She's going to be 11 soon. I don't think my daughter would love this show. I don't think she would love it. I think that she might like it, but I think she'd probably think it was a little too serious. Right?
Yeah, it's not fun.
No,
like it's fun for us.
You're right. It's I talked to someone who works on these types of movies and very much so was like, look, Obi-Wan to me is my favorite of it all, and I can see a lot of people are going to love this one, but this one is not fun for me, and I want fun.
Sure.
And I think that's the thing is I don't want it, and I understand people are like, well, I want it to be more fun, and I don't think you should make everything like this because I think that will get kind of like, oh, this is intense. I think you need to balance it out, but I still think there's a way to do it and make you got to make the writing better. The writing was not good. As Steph, the writing was not good.
The dialogue was non-existent. They had like maybe 2 lines of dialogue next scene.
They didn't build. The only time they built off of Obi-Wan was my brother, this, that, and they didn't build off of anybody.
I would kill to have a Tony Gilroy scene and what I wanted in Obi-Wan between Obi-Wan and Owen.
Yeah.
I would kill for a Tony
that's
Gilroy written.
Yeah.
A whole half-hour episode with the two of them. That's what I was hoping for.
Do you think he's going to get a deal? Like a bigger deal?
I don't think he'll want it.
I don't know about that. I'm sure.
You think he'll want to go back into Star Wars?
Yeah, I think he's having fun.
If he can do what he's doing now, yes.
Yeah,
if they put shackles on him, no.
No, I think I agree with you 100%.
I think
don't
he's
think
got a
there's gonna
very
be any shackles.
specific.
No.
Like he's coming from the world of Bourne. Like he's got a very specific thing he likes doing.
Right. Well, that's a good point. It's like I like doing things like this. I like doing things where it makes you think. Because the reason why I think they will sign to something where he's going to get another project is because of Star Wars Celebration. At Star Wars Celebration, he said on stage, 3 seasons, I got so many ideas, and Diego Luna's like, I only signed on for 2. right? And he's like, "Oh, I want to do 3." Blah, blah. It seems like he wants to do more. He's having fun.
Yeah.
And if he's doing this type of stuff, then I want to see what he does in another. I want to see him do something outside of this time period. I want to see what he can do.
It does remind me, I'll be on it. Now you're saying this. It reminds me of McQuarrie in Mission Impossible. He's like, nope, I'm doing 1, and that's it. And now he's going to end up doing 4 because he's like, I love what I'm doing. You guys are responding to what I'm doing.
Right.
They're letting me do what I want to do. Let's go.
Well, I wonder
So
now,
maybe
though.
it is more like that. Okay.
And again, at the time of this taping, my spoiler review is up on the channel now, and the comments that I did see, it does seem like the majority of people, even the people who felt that the previous episodes were either slow or boring, seem to really enjoy this episode. So if it continues to lead this way, which I think that, and I was talking to somebody recently on that we did the Patreon Q&A, and I said I was telling this guy, I was like, yeah, I'm telling you, it's 1-2 punch, 1-2 punch. And now the next adventure starts with 8 or 7. So it's like 7, 8. What the hell is, like, right now I'm already thinking, what's 9 going to be? Because 7, 8 are going to build it up. What's 9 going to be?
So do you guys think, okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Will 10, 11, 12 be to the culmination, or are we just going to, you guys have seen The Old Man, right?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay. I had no
I need
idea.
to.
It was 7
great.
episodes. I thought it was just, that's it.
Yeah, but you know why, though, that happened?
I don't.
So
Oh, yeah.
from what I heard is that, so you remember Jeff Bridges
He's ill. Cancer.
He beat it. He beat it since,
Yeah.
but at the time he was filming it when diagnosed. So
Right.
they had to abruptly just stop.
Okay, so I thought, because I'm like, how did they not know this was going to be?
That's why.
Season 2 got greenlit after episode 1, and I'm
Yeah.
like, so they filmed these. The way it ends, you're like, they ended this and not knowing they were going to get a second season, so they knew they were getting a second season. So with this, they knew they're getting a second season. Are we going to end like The Old Man, where it's just like, oh, we're midway, or is it
No.
going to be a definitive, like, this is it? If we never got another season 2, we're done.
No, because they knew that they were doing 2 seasons right away. They
So this is
announced it
gonna.
already.
So 12 is in. May not be like this grand finale.
I think it's going to go back to what Steph said. I think that it will be a time jump going in from episode 1 of season 2 will be a time jump. So I do think it'll end definitively, whatever, because
Okay.
because of the format that they've laid out so far, and it's the mission is set up in episode 1, mission is developed in episode 2, mission is delivered in episode 3.
Okay.
And whatever that mission might be, and I think that that's exactly what's going to happen. Definitely with 7, 8, 9. Now, do I think it's going to end on a high note? No, I do not. I think it's going to end on a dark note. And the
An Empire ending.
Yeah, Empire is going to win the episode 12.
Yeah.
You can bet on it, and I'll tell you if you like betting. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you go and you check out MyBookie, because MyBookie, it's been awesome for us, and I think it's been awesome for you guys too. People tell me they've been using it. People tell me they've been, especially with everything going on, whether it's baseball and football, and it's the time to do it. It's now. But your favorite athletes always strive to put themselves in a winning position, and it's about time that you did it too, and you can do that with MyBookie. MyBookie is the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill all of your sports betting needs anytime, anywhere. You can bet on the NFL, the MLB playoffs, NFL, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting for the right time to get into the action, the time you want to do it is right now. You can make your winning move today. Now, this is what you have to do. You go to mybookie.ag, you go to MyBookie, and you use that promo code BIGTHING. And you can claim your deposit match of any amount up to $1,000. That's pretty great. It's promo code BIGTHING and claim that bonus. Experience sports in a whole new light and make this season a winning one. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Use that code, man. Big thing. If you're going to do it, you know what? I'm going to watch the games this weekend. I'm going to watch the Yankees win the whole damn thing. We'll bet on them. Bet on them. Stupid Brad Gilmore last night texted me because I'm not an Astros fan at all.
He is.
I love Brad.
I know. I love him too. But Astros,
Yeah, he really rides for.
well, yeah, but he and I were on the phone for a while last night, or yesterday, and I was talking to him, and I was like, I had sent him this thing about Houston and how much I hate the Astros. It was I remember it being a funny meme or something too, and I was very proud of myself.
Of course you were.
And he was like, he goes, yeah, I didn't write you back on that one. I go, nope. He's like, it really pissed me off. I go, good. And so last night last night it was a walk-off home run to win the whole thing. And he sent me the video, and then he sent me where one of the Yankees last night thinks he hits a home run, starts running around the bases, but they caught, it bounced off the wall, so they threw him out. And Brad's like, he sent it to me, and then the Yankees won 4-1. I was like, you're just pretty silent now. Where you been?
Are you a Yankees guy?
No.
No, he's not even from New York.
Come on, man.
Are you not?
What?
Yes, you
Yes. Easy.
I need you to leave.
I don't.
You
No.
literally just made his brain hurt.
I don't watch sports. I don't
No,
know
I know.
sports.
Yeah, but
Are
he
you a New York
literally
Yankees guy?
He is wearing Yankees attire.
Where?
Half the time.
Where, Steez?
Okay.
God!
Let's
Damn
circle back to Mike's comment in which he said, "I'm really observant. I notice everything when I walk into a room."
I don't see anything on the walls right now. I didn't see Darth Vader and the Crow. That's all I see.
He's
What?
always in a Yankees hat or a Yankees song.
Where? Where's the Yankees memorabilia? Do I see anything? I look over there. I see New York Giants football.
First of all,
thing.
he has a pizza box right there.
You racist.
Race? How's that racist? You didn't say
Racist
Italian, you
against
idiot.
New
You said
York
New York.
and Italians.
Racist?
Racist. It was,
Mamma
Or you,
mia.
or do you
only
mean
Italians eat pizza.
Or do you mean stereotype?
Whatever.
It's a little different.
Is it?
The Top Gun guy?
Okay.
Hey, mamma mia! When you watch a Super Mario trailer, pizza, you.
You should have done the voice. You probably would have gone better.
I
on
would have
Twitter.
killed it as that.
All right, listen.
It's a me.
I'm gonna look at this.
What are we looking at?
First of all, I want to
Pizza?
thank Nausette for the wonderful look at the layout.
Well,
Really
what am I
like this
looking
thing.
at?
Yeah, it's awesome. Can you not see it?
Our layout of the studio or that shot of Andor?
Just go to sleep. God, go to sleep.
I need some athletic greens.
It's all right. You'll be all right. All right, let's
Yep.
let's look at some of the stuff we got going on here.
Okay, here we go.
Star Wars News Net. I want to see if there's any new reports thus far, and I don't see anything. And what I try to do every single time with this site, where's the new news? Remember we did this last week, Mike?
You can find it. You're an idiot.
Thanks, Billy.
Just go on to news and click on the little drop-down box.
Thanks, Ralph. All right, Jimmy. Thanks, John. All right, so Diego Luna on, and this is more Andor stuff. Industrial Light and Magic, building new studio in Mumbai. That's awesome. Some, that's our peeps over at Star Wars News Net. But I don't think there's anything really big going on.
Yeah,
right now,
I
right?
just saw that it was the Acolyte starts filming type. I think in the end of the October or
Let's see.
November.
Oh, I was Ashley Eckstein. She's the coolest.
Yeah.
I don't see anything Acolyte. You know what? I'll do a search. Let's see. Let's check this out. The Acolyte. And we'll see if that's if there's anything going on with the Acolyte. Nothing so far.
We gotta type up latest news.
Jodie Turner Smith, is that the one?
We knew that.
Oh, we knew that one
I
already.
knew that a while ago.
This is nothing. I don't see nothing, Mike. Acolyte and Star Wars news. That's the last one. Then we're gonna call it an end.
Yeah, I have one more comment.
Sure.
Okay. Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when you're talking about what's the buildup going to be? Is it going to be as big in the next 3 arc? I think that's what I find to be the most genius about the way that they're handling Andor is that they're stealing credits. That's not a big deal,
Right.
you know, to like it's not a huge war. And when we're so accustomed as viewers to watch things and most movies are done on big battles, right? Like recently, like 1918 or whatever, I feel like they're doing smaller battles and
Yeah.
we're seeing how it's done and how many parts of war there are. It's not just the Death Star. There's
Right.
so many little things. And so I do think that they're not going to have a problem if they stay in this tone and pace, making everything a big deal, even if it's not really that big of a deal.
Little skirmishes.
Yeah.
You had something else, Mike?
I was just agreeing with her on that.
So-
I thought, like, yeah, you're right. Star Wars, but these are the battles in that
Uh-huh.
war,
I
and
don't
they're not
s-
always ships fighting each other or
Right.
battalions of soldiers against each other. These are the little pockets of resistance throughout
Right.
the
I like
random planets that we see. And
I like the little smaller ones too.
Yeah,
Right?
we
And
don't-
and look
it's-
at House of the Dragon, by the way. You know, so I, know
I
you
don't
watch-
look at it. I don't watch
I know
it.
you don't watch it, but what I like about House of the Dragon is that they're able. And again, the reason why that show is so good is the writing.
Yes.
And it's character build up and it's all this stuff because I'm guessing, and I haven't talked to you about it, but I feel that you feel significantly different about Viserys now than you did episode 1.
100%.
And that's because of writing. And I think that with well, not just writing, the brilliant performing by Patty Constantine.
Yeah, he
also.
rocks.
He's awesome. But anyway, you do stories like that, and that show thus far, and I'm sure there'll be big battles and all this stuff, but that show thus far has been fairly contained and
Yeah.
small. And it's about the politics, and you can say, well, politics can be really boring. Of course they can, but they can also be very intriguing if you do it the right way. And I think that Star Wars has done that here, and I'm just hoping that that they continue to do shows like this. What I hope that they don't feel is that it doesn't fit into this George Lucas philosophy, and that it's different, and it doesn't have that feel. I feel that I could feel them doing that.
I know he doesn't give answers a lot. Or has there been any talk of Lucas of what he thinks of this? Has he seen it? Like, I know a lot of times he's like, I don't watch this stuff anymore.
I don't know.
But some of the stuff he's come out and he's like, I don't like what they did. They didn't like the
Right.
Force Awakens stuff. He's like, I don't like what they did with it. So I'm curious what he liked.
Rumors are is that he was not a fan of that Last Jedi at all.
Right.
Rumors of the trilogy. Rumors are that he liked Obi-Wan.
Okay.
I mean, not Obi-Wan.
Force Awakens.
Rogue One. No, he didn't like Force Awakens. But Rogue
No, he
One.
don't like that.
Again, this is just rumors. I don't know how factual it is. But the rumors are new trilogy, not a fan of. Rumors are that he liked Rogue One. Rumors are that he liked Solo. Okay. Rumors are that he loves Mandalorian, but I don't know.
Yeah, Mando, because we've seen the most on.
Yeah, and Filoni's his guy.
Yeah, so but I'm just curious what he thinks of this.
I did hear that Ahmad Best is coming out with a script that's like the one-man show, and it's like his version of
that's
what
cool.
happened. Yeah,
That's
I'm
fun.
curious to see what it's like.
I hope that they bounce back on him the way that they did with Hayden.
Yeah, it's not he's a character.
But I don't think they will because it's not.
It's not. Yeah,
It's not the actor.
It's the character.
It's the character. You're right.
and they could not separate it.
No.
Poor guy.
I mean,
Misa of Sith.
just anyone is an actor. You're thinking it's like, I'm part of Star Wars. I'm going to be the new Chewbacca. Oh my God. And then
right.
They need to like make him a role in like Rick and Morty. He should go in the the adult animated voiceover. And
it's
just murder.
I want to say I would go as far as it's not even the character, it's the design, the way he looks.
No, I think you were right the first time.
If it was an alien, he was the bumbling one of the group.
I'm
but it's
telling
those ears, the voice,
subtitle. If you had
walking,
that character, again, subtitles, man.
yeah. Even
I'm
with
still
the same jokes, I think
Yes.
it would have been better.
Easily. I'm so shocked still. Episode 1 or 2 of Andor, when the one alien is talking basic,
Yeah.
and I was like, why do I accept this?
The one guy was like, "You told me to stand behind him."
I loved it. I was like, I didn't go, oh, come on, give him subtitles. I thought the subtitles should have worked for when in Obi-Wan, when they had, what's his, Frick?
Frack.
Frack, whatever his name is.
The lizard.
Zach
bounty
Braff.
hunter?
Zach Braff's
Oh.
character. They just but here's the thing. Here's the difference. But this is why
Let it out, Steez.
Yeah.
Let it out.
But wait, but look, this is why I think bringing up that character. So that character is Zach Braff. They brought in Zach Braff because it's Zach Braff, and it's Zach Braff. We get him to do a voice. Let's just get him to do a voice. He can do an alien voice. It'll be great. Right. And then, but not thinking, but that alien would probably work better with subtitles and work better because it's like, oh, you okay, Obi-Wan? And it's like, that's as opposed to, then you have some of it. I don't know. It just doesn't.
So
it's like tone wise, right? It just feels off.
How much does that bring in? Like,
how much is what, Brian?
It being Zach Braff didn't do a thing for me.
No. But I think the fact that he wanted to do it, it's a name somebody wanted to do it. And remember, him and Faison, Donald Faison are really close, and they're like best friends. And Donald Faison is a massive Star Wars guy, and was in the Resistance show, and probably introduced him to the world or introduced.
So it's more of like, hey, come play in Star Wars for a little bit. Not like this is a casting coup.
No. It's
Okay.
like, let him voice a character, and they're like, okay, great, we'll just give him like an alien voice, and it's like. Yeah, but you're only doing it because it's like that's star power driven stuff. The same problem that sometimes when you go, well, it's a hot director right now.
Look
Who's the hot
at
director?
like
Let's
a
get the hot
perfect
director.
example. Flea.
Right.
Totally out of character. Didn't look the part. Didn't fit in
At all.
That's one of the most hated.
get Flea.
Hated
We can
scenes
get Flea.
in Obi-Wan
Yeah.
where you're just like, that's awful, and it exacerbates how bad it was when he's got his with that shaved head is, and you're like,
But that's also,
this doesn't fit.
but that's also, again, as much as I love her, that's a Deborah Chow. Wait, that's a Deborah Chow thing because that scene is not well directed. His performance is not well directed, and that should have been something where it's like, all right, you know what? Like, have you seen those fan edits? He grabs her, you can make him terrifying, and you cut. You could have cut around that performance and made Flea the same way. I like Bill Burr. And
I was just
going
gonna say that.
Me too.
Bill Burr, I know when he first came in because I only knew him from his comedy. The first episode where I was like, okay, but then that other scene where he got to act,
Yeah.
and you directed him,
Yeah.
and that you're just like
You brought it out. You brought it out of it, and he directed it in the right way.
Phenomenal.
And he directed it in the right way, and that's
So
that's
yeah,
it.
you're right. Directing.
I think that the directing and the writing, and you can go back and watch many times over on this show, and other times I was like, Deborah Chow is going to annihilate this thing. I was disappointed with Deborah Chow's directing in Obi-Wan, like, and storytelling, like really like compared to those 2 episodes she did in Mandalorian, like she was the rock star. She was like the GOAT of that season, and I thought it was going to be the best season ever. I did not like what she did with Obi-Wan.
Back to what you said then, the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Seeing what she did on Mando, we're like, yeah, this is perfect.
I thought
Absolutely.
I was all for
So
it.
now you're like, was there too many cooks in the kitchen and
That's
on Obi-Wan?
a question that absolutely could and should be asked, and it also is maybe did she need more time to develop as a Star Wars creator before you gave her a full show?
Okay.
Maybe, or maybe not even her fault necessarily. Should they have stuck to what they were doing? Because I was a big advocate of, I love the idea that one director's doing all the episodes.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a lot of work.
I love that. Or show running it or whatever. And I said, maybe that wasn't the right thing. Maybe
You're
Filoni
directing
and
2 movies.
maybe Filoni and Favreau or someone, they should have done that, and she directed a couple episodes, and I don't know. But either way, this show is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm loving what they're doing. I want to know what you guys think, and that's Sith Council today. So thank you guys for joining us here. Appreciate it. Thanks to Mike and Steph for joining us. And please comment and like the episode, because it helps tremendously. And I look at all the comments. I try to respond to as many as I can. You guys have been leaving a lot of comments, so it's a good problem to have, that it's been hard to keep up with all the comments, but it helps us get the word out there on this show. And we're trying to build out the network, and in order to do that, we're trying to get to 70,000 by the end of the year. And if you hit that button, you can get us there, if you haven't already done that. So make sure you do that. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you check out Mike and Steph on Twitter. Check out Steph on the World Girls. And then if you haven't already, definitely Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. It's Sith Council, everybody. Appreciate you. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
I can feel your anger. It gives you focus, makes you stronger.